Guys, my cozy hobby room is a mess. This space hosts my desk, it hosts my library, all of my craft supplies. It's a space that's supposed to inspire creativity and be an escape from the rest of the world, but instead it has become just this really daunting space that I honestly don't spend a lot of time in because it stresses me out. I think one of the main things at play, and it's something that I think I'm probably going to struggle with for the rest of my life, is that when my brain is a mess, like when I have anxiety or I'm stressed or I'm just frazzled or whatever, my space becomes a mess because it becomes this thing that I just don't pay attention to. And then because my space is a mess, my brain becomes even more of a mess because I cannot function in clutter. And then because my brain is a mess, my space becomes even more of a mess. And it just continues until the task of cleaning and decluttering becomes so daunting that I just avoid it altogether. But today, we are fixing that. And listen, I know a lot of you are the same, where you really thrive in spaces that are organized and clutter-free, but the curse of executive dysfunction often makes it really hard to create those spaces for yourself. But I'm hoping with this video, the two of us can tackle whatever tasks or mess that we have to deal with together. Anyways, hi, I'm Monica. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe, but let's dive in to fixing and organizing my cozy hobby room. Here's the current state of my room. It's just super cluttered with things, not really having a home because too many shelves and drawers are filled with things I honestly shouldn't even be holding on to anymore. So my first order of business was to clean off my floor and dresser. I have all of this to go through. Basically, I keep doing this thing where when I have like piles of things in other areas that's creating a mess, I will put them in boxes, and I tell myself that I will then go through these boxes and find their rightful place so that it's not making a mess in wherever it's at, but instead I just have a pile of stuff, so I gotta go through all of this. Here's the thing, the box method is helpful. When I need to declutter, I take a box around my entire apartment and put everything out of place into it. It's more efficient. However, my biggest issue is that I then struggle to do the second step of the box method, sitting down and getting rid of stuff or putting things in their rightful place. I've come to learn that there are two main roadblocks that stop me from getting rid of things. First, I'm overly sentimental. I've always been like this, but I think losing my dad so young made me someone who holds on to things as a way to hold on to people. And two, I definitely have a scarcity mindset, a fear that eventually I will need that thing. Maybe not today, but what if tomorrow? Honestly, if something's truly sentimental, I don't get rid of it, but most things aren't, especially if that thing is just sitting in a box for weeks, maybe even months that I haven't touched or even thought about. For me, junk journaling has honestly been super helpful with this. I'll take a little piece of the item, a sticker or whatever, I'll put it in my journal as a way to still hold on to whatever memory or feeling that I've ascribed to that item, and then I can let the item go. And if there isn't a way for me to incorporate the item into my junk journal, then that's when I take on the Marie Kondo method, which is many years old, but is honestly still very helpful for me, where I just have a moment with the item, I thank it for what it's given me, and then I let it go. And if none of that works, then at that point, I have to employ the tough love method. Like genuinely just sort of making fun of myself and being, girl, you're being ridiculous. You don't need this item. You don't want this item. Get rid of it. It is suffocating you. And when I'm being really intentional to employ those three methods, I find them really helpful with just getting rid of things. And with that, I now have a floor again, and my dresser is looking super cute. Hello. So over here we have my desk, which is a bit of a disaster, as was my entire room. So anyways, my goal for this space is to just clear off all of this. I have like all of my makeup and all of these like gaming accessories, and I just want to find better storage solutions for everything. I have these like drawers under the desk that I want to use for a lot of these like controllers and stuff. I just want to get things off of my desk because it's a little bit chaotic. So we're going to organize this, make it look a lot better. And also we're going to switch out this desk chair. I have had a new desk chair in a box outside of this room for months, and I've just held off putting it together because honestly putting this together was so annoying that I've just like not looked forward to doing it again. So those are the big changes that I'm doing here. Very excited. Let's go. This might be a bit reductive, but for my own brain, I've been trying not to view or think about executive dysfunction as an excuse or even a reason for why I do things. Obviously it is a reason, but for me, I just look at it as, okay, these other methods work for other people who don't have to struggle with this issue, but I do. And so what are strategies that I can develop and I can utilize in order to get over these hurdles? Easier said than done, but I've just found coddling myself and allowing myself to kind of wallow in the self-pity of being like, it's my executive dysfunction, really just doesn't help me at all. It just kind of makes everything worse. So here are 3 different strategies that I utilize when I find myself in these ruts. First, body doubling. A lot of you are probably familiar with this. It's really common, especially with people who have ADHD. The idea is that you have someone there with you, either virtually or physically, in order to keep you accountable or to feel like they're keeping you accountable. So for example, for me, I often FaceTime my mom while I'm putting away clothes, and it just helps me get through the task. My second strategy is to emulate someone. I don't know if this actually has its own term, but it's a strategy that's been really helpful for me recently. Basically, I just put myself into the shoes or the mindset of another person or even character. For me, it's often my mom. Like, my mom does not understand the concept of doing something later or something being good enough. And I've always really admired that she's able to make any space feel cozy and warm, even with the most limited of resources. And honestly, it's probably the best thing I've ever done for my brain. Lastly, and this is the hardest one, but it's, I think, the most effective, it's get into autopilot. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is not always something I'm able to do. It's definitely something that you have to practice at. The trick is to basically try and not think whatsoever, to completely clear your mind, to almost view yourself as a robot that's just doing all of these tasks and not even thinking about them. Yeah, if you're like me and you have a lot of anxiety spirals and it's hard to turn off your brain, this can be a difficult one to do, but if you can get into that flow state, if you can get yourself into that mindset of thinking, I am a robot, I'm just doing the tasks that I've been set to do, that for me has been really helpful in getting things done. So I finished cleaning my desk. I'm feeling very proud of this space. I got rid of a lot of stuff that was literally just like taking over. I ended up switching out everything that was in this locker, and it is now my little makeup storage area, and I love it. I got rid of a ton of makeup. Honestly, getting rid of stuff just makes me feel so much lighter and better and less stressed and less anxious, and I'm so excited to continue this process. I think I'm going to maybe play some cozy video games and then just head to bed. And then tomorrow, my big goal is to tackle the other side of my cozy hobby room that I showed you earlier. So that like craft closet area, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So got to get a lot of rest before that. Okay, I do feel like I need to defend myself a little bit on this area behind me because I did start cleaning it earlier today. So it's like a little bit in that, you know, that phase where everything has to look messier before it can get cleaner. But let me talk you through what I'm planning on doing. So first of all, I have this rack of clothes. This is supposed to be where I have like all of my like Selkie dresses, just like pretty princessy things. I kind of just use it as like a decor feature on top of it being storage. But right now it is not looking very pretty. It looks like an explosion went off. So I just need to go through it, organize that, move some things into my actual closet that shouldn't be there. I have this like big pile. A lot of these are clothes that I've been trying to either sell or donate. So I need to just like get rid of them somehow today. So I'm going to go through this area, and then over here I have this set of drawers which has just so many different things. Some clothes, some craft supplies, a lot of hair accessories, but on top is all of my makeup, and in this one large drawer is all of my makeup. And I just, one, I don't need that much makeup. Two, it does not need to take up that much space. So I'm trying to consolidate. I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff, and my goal is to try and move pretty much all of my makeup over to my desk area because that's where I'm doing my makeup anyways. Oh, and then behind this curtain is my craft closet, and I desperately need to get rid of some stuff in there and organize it better. Oh, to all the crafts I've loved before. I've honestly gotten a lot better about managing my impulses with wanting to start new hobbies and crafts all the time, but my craft closet is definitely the reminder of that history and very much a graveyard of craft dreams past. But using the tips I mentioned earlier, I was able to get through the space, honestly, a lot faster than I expected. You know how sometimes you put off a task for ages because you think it's going to be hard, but then it ends up being so easy and you feel so relieved once it's done? That's me in this chair. I was so stressed about putting it together because my pink gaming chair was so difficult. And honestly, I was also really stressed about creating waste by getting rid of my current desk chair. But anyways, all that worry was for nothing because I was able to quickly get the chair to someone who wanted it. And two, my new one was so easy to put together. And honestly, I find my new one so much more comfortable, even if it's not pink. I just cover it with a blanket anyways. All right, guys, are we ready for the after? I'm honestly feeling so much better in this space, and I've been spending a lot more time in here ever since. But definitely while tackling this room, I've come to the realization that I think one of the ongoing lessons that I think I'm gonna have to continue learning throughout my life is that nostalgia really is a sickness. Holding on to too many objects out of a fear of losing past memories is only going to hurt your chances of making new future ones. But I'm proud of what I've accomplished in this space, and I know it's going to be an ongoing battle for me for the rest of my life more than likely, but developing new methods and strategies in order to tackle those things, that's what matters. But overall, I'm just feeling really excited to be creative in this space again. I'm making plans for things that I want to do in here, like a couple new sewing projects and maybe even streaming some upcoming games that I'm very excited for. And all of this were things that I would not have wanted to do in this space as it was before the start of this video. So if you've been waiting for a sign to finally tackle whatever mess or task is currently in the back of your brain holding you back from living life to its fullest, let this be your sign. Join me. Life will get so much better, and I promise it won't be as hard as you think it is. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Monica, and I love creating cozy content here on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, where I post even more cozy content, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye!